Welcome to White Paper Podcasts, where our hosts Heather and Andre discuss a wide variety of informational sources, making them easy to understand through an informative and entertaining format. Today, Andre and Heather discuss the extraordinary entrepreneurial spirit of the legendary Jack Ma. This podcast lasts approximately 13 minutes.
All right, everybody, welcome back. Excited to kick things off today, diving into the mind of a true innovator.
Yeah, we're talking Jack Ma.
The man, the myth, the legend behind Alibaba.
Yeah.
For anyone who might not be familiar.
Which, by the way, completely changed the game for e-commerce.
Absolutely. Talk about a story, right? Started with basically nothing.
Not kidding.
And built this absolute empire.
Empire is the right word, yeah.
But what gets me is he did it in a place where, honestly, a lot of people would have said it was impossible.
Oh, totally. Back then, the idea of e-commerce taking off in China, it was unheard of.
Exactly. But that's what's so incredible about Jack Ma, right? He had this unshakable belief.
Like, it wasn't just talk. He truly believed it.
That's what I'm saying. He walked the walk. Think about it. From the very beginning, his vision for Alibaba was global.
Oh, from day one.
Global scale. Even when he was just starting out, But he was never afraid to think beyond borders.
It's funny because when you hear him talk about it, he makes it sound so simple. Like, think big, dream global.
Catchy, right.
But for him, it wasn't just the slogan. He lived it. And that's what led to some of Alibaba's most successful moves.
Like, what's an example that comes to mind for you?
Well, early on, they made this really gutsy move, targeting rural markets in China.
Interesting.
Nobody else was doing that. Everyone thought e-commerce was strictly for people in the cities.
Yeah, made sense at the time.
Right. Limited access, infrastructure issues, the whole bit.
Totally. So what made Ma think that would work?
Vision, pure and simple. He saw the potential where everyone else just saw obstacles. He knew that if he could connect those communities, those underserved markets, to the digital world.
Game changer.
Exactly. And it paid off big time, those rural markets. Huge driver of Alibaba's growth.
It's like that classic saying, right? The greatest risks often lead to the greatest rewards.
Or, in Ma's words, opportunity often hides where others are afraid to look.
Ooh, I like that.
I like that a lot. He was full of them. But the big takeaway there is it's not enough to just talk about dreaming big. You have to be willing to challenge your assumptions about what's possible.
Because what seems impossible today
could be standard practice tomorrow.
Mind-blowing. Seriously, makes you wonder, what are we overlooking in our own lives,
All the time, probably.
Just because we're stuck in our own little boxes.
Yeah.
And it wasn't just about having this big, huge vision, right?
No way.
Ma knew that to make it a reality,
to really build something that lasts,
you need to bring people together.
He was all about the team.
Oh, absolutely. And he talks about how
partnerships, crucial.
Yeah, he had this analogy he loved to use. Compares building a business to running a relay race.
Okay, I like that.
So you could be like the fastest runner out there.
Top performer.
But if you don't have a team,
nobody to hand off to
pass that baton to,
yeah,
you're never going to win the race.
Exactly. You're only as strong as the weakest link kind of thing.
And for Ma, these teams, these partnerships, they weren't just about like business transactions.
It was deeper than that.
It was about this shared respect, this really deep sense of purpose.
Like you're all in it together.
Yeah, and he actually used this Chinese character, Shen.
I've heard him talk about that, yeah.
To describe his whole approach.
What is it like? What does it stand for?
So it combines the symbols for family and for heart.
Oh, wow. Powerful.
Which I think really speaks volumes.
About how he approached partnerships, yeah.
It's not just about, signing a contract.
Definitely not.
It's about building something
way more meaningful.
Where everyone feels like they're truly a part of it, like they belong.
Which makes them want to work harder too, know?
Yeah, exactly.
When you feel that sense of ownership.
They go the extra mile.
You're not just clocking in and clocking out.
And speaking of investing in people,
yeah,
Ma was a huge believer in building a company culture.
From the ground up, right?
That went beyond just,
ping pong tables and free snacks.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like all those typical perks.
Perks are nice.
Sure.
But they're not a culture.
He knew that to create a truly great company,
which was the goal, always,
it had to be about something much, much bigger.
Something deeper.
He famously said, and I love this quote, if you want a good company, hire women.
I've heard that. Yeah, keep going.
But if you want a truly great company,
let me guess.
Get men and women working together.
There it is. Couldn't have said it better myself.
Right. And it makes total sense.
Complete sense.
Because it's not just about, checking a box.
Right.
It's about bringing all those different
Voices, the different experience perspectives.
to create something truly unique.
Something special.
And you know what else is really interesting about Ma?
What's that?
He had this knack for taking obstacles, like things that would trip most people up, and actually turning them into advantages.
Like what? Give me an example.
His perspective on criticism.
Ooh, yeah. He was known for that.
Talk about counterintuitive, right?
Totally. I mean, most of us, we see criticism and we immediately...
In a way.
Yeah. Like it's a bad thing.
Avoid it at all costs.
But Ma, he embraced it.
It's true. I mean, the guy was practically...
Welcomed it with open arms.
Yeah, and he was able to, reframe it
To use it to his advantage.
as a learning opportunity.
Exactly.
I remember reading somewhere that he compared criticism to, stones in the road.
Okay. I can see where he's going with this.
You can either let those stones trip you up,
They make you stumble.
or you can use them to,
Build a stronger foundation.
something even stronger.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what he did.
He used it as fuel,
Instead of getting all defensive.
which is easy to do.
Oh, for sure. It's human nature. But he would always ask,
What can I learn?
exactly.
How can I be better?
And how can we use this to make things better?
Brilliant.
And that's what I think speaks to his adaptability, which is another one of those.
Core principles of his,
Absolutely.
which is crucial in business, I think.
Oh, totally. I mean, if we've learned anything from, the last few
The
years,
world is changing fast.
it's that the world changes. And it changes quickly.
Faster and faster all the time.
And to really thrive in that environment, you have to be ready to adapt.
You can't be stuck in your ways.
100%.
I remember him telling the story about his grandfather.
Oh, yeah.
And the way work has changed over the generations. It's fascinating.
Tell me more about that.
So his grandfather, right, he worked on a farm.
Okay, hard work.
Back-breaking work, 18 hours a day.
Wow, that's intense.
And he always felt busy.
Understandably.
Then he compares that to his own life, right? He's working 8 hours a day.
Still a full day.
But he feels the same pressures.
Right, that same sense of overwhelm.
Totally. And then he looks at his grandchildren.
Okay, so this is where things get really interesting.
Right. Completely different world.
Right, because they can get more done.
In 3-4 hours.
With technology and all of that.
Exactly. And they're like, why is everyone else so stressed?
They don't even understand the concept of a 40-hour work week.
It's a totally different way of thinking about work.
And this is where he saw AI playing a big role.
That makes sense. I mean, with AI, we're talking...
Not in the way that, science
where
fiction.
robots are going to take over.
Yeah, but in a way that can enhance how we work.
Right. Help us be more efficient.
Exactly.
Free up our time to focus on more, strategic things.
So not replacing humans, but making us better.
Making us smarter.
More efficient.
Yeah. He used the example of AlphaGo.
Oh, yeah. The AI that beat the world champion Go player.
Right. Everyone was freaking out. But Ma, he wasn't fazed at all.
So what was his take on it?
He basically said, why even try to compete with a machine to play chess? You've already lost that battle. His whole point was...
Focus on what we're good at.
Yeah, the things AI can't replicate, like our creativity, our emotional intelligence.
The human stuff.
Exactly. That's what sets us apart. So instead of fearing AI...
We should be figuring out how to work with it.
100%.
To make our lives better.
Leverage its power.
Right. Not shy away from it.
That's the ticket.
Which is funny because a lot of people...
It can feel scary.
Oh, for sure.
This big unknown.
Right, this big disruption.
But he had this really optimistic outlook.
He did.
On technology in general.
Which, honestly, I think we could all use a little bit more of.
Absolutely. I mean, technology is a tool, right?
A very powerful tool.
And like any tool, it can be used for good or for evil.
It's all about how we use it.
Exactly.
It all comes back to us.
And for Ma, the real magic happens when we combine that technology with
the human element,
our own ingenuity,
creativity, passion,
a commitment to making a real difference in the world, making it a better place.
100%. And that brings us to what might be, in my opinion, the biggest takeaway from all of this.
Hit me with it.
Never stop dreaming big.
I love it. So important.
Because it's so easy to get bogged down,
Oh, yeah. Life gets in the way.
The day-to-day grind, the challenges.
You start to lose sight of the bigger picture.
Exactly. But Ma, he always came back to this.
Never lost sight of the dream.
And he had this incredible quote. And I'm going to try to get it right.
Okay.
He said, never give up. Today is hard. Tomorrow will be worse. But the day after tomorrow, the sun will shine.
Wow.
And it really is about remembering that
It's not always going to be easy,
it's about persevering.
pushing through those tough times.
Right, because the road to success is rarely a straight line,
Full of twists and turns,
It's in a bumps.
detours, roadblock.
Exactly. But it's during those difficult moments
It's moments when you want to give up.
that it's even more important
Dig deep.
to cling to that
There's
vision.
a dream that keeps you going.
And it's not just about dreaming, is it?
Yeah.
It's about taking action.
Making those dreams a reality.
Because Ma, he was a big, big believer in the power of execution. He always said,
Ideas are cheap.
Right. I love that quote.
yes.
Yeah.
He said, ideas are cheap, execution is everything.
You can talk all day long, but if you don't actually do anything,
It doesn't mean a thing.
it's all just noise. Hot air.
You got to put in the work.
Yeah.
It's like they say, talk is cheap.
Right. Gotta walk the walk.
Exactly. And, speaking of action, I think it's interesting how much Ma really admired that startup mentality.
Oh, absolutely. He loved the energy, the drive, that kind of scrappiness.
They weren't afraid to shake things up.
Not one bit. Challenge the status quo. That was their bread and butter.
And he felt like even big companies could learn a lot from that.
Oh, 100%. That ability to be agile, to take risks, to fail fast and get back up again.
He called it embracing failure.
Because for him, failure wasn't the opposite of success.
It was part of the journey.
Exactly. It was all about learning from those missteps, iterating, constantly evolving.
Which is a good reminder for all of us, right?
Oh, big time. No matter what you do.
It's like this whole deep dive into Jack Ma and his wisdom. It's not just for, the tech giants out there.
No, not at all.
Or people who are trying to build the next Alibaba.
It's for everyone.
Because at its core,
It's about having a dream.
it's about these universal principles.
like what? Give me some examples.
Thinking big,
Okay, love it.
embracing those partnerships, right? Like we talked
Which
about.
is so key
Being adaptable,
in a world that's constantly changing, yeah.
and then actually taking action, having that discipline to execute.
Because an idea without action is just a daydream, right?
Ugh, love that. Write that down, everybody.
Mhm.
But seriously, no matter what you do, teacher, artist,
You- Doctor, entrepreneur,
Yeah,
doesn't matter.
these ideas, they can make a real difference in how you approach your work, your relationships, even your own personal life.
It's about approaching it all with that same kind of
Fearless spirit.
exactly, that resilience.
Oh.
And that unwavering optimism that Ma always had. He never lost sight of that.
And maybe that's the biggest takeaway of all.
What's that?
Never underestimate the power of a big dream.
To light that fire, right?
Yes, to guide you, to motivate you,
To keep you going when things get tough.
because it can. It can shape your destiny.
No doubt about it. And on that note, I think it's time for a little homework assignment for our listeners.
Ooh, I like it. Hit 'em with it.
All right, so think about this. What's your impossible dream? The one you've always had in the back of your mind but told yourself was totally out of reach.
The one you're a little bit scared to even say out loud.
Yes, that's the one. Write it down. Don't overthink it. Just get it on paper.
Then what?
Break it down. What's the smallest possible step you can take towards making it a reality?
Just one step?
Just one, because you never know where that one step might lead.
You might just surprise yourself.
And hey, if you ever need a little inspiration along the way,
We got you covered.
remember Jack Ma, a testament to what's possible when we dare to dream big and chase those dreams with everything we've got.
Boom. So until next time, everyone, keep learning, keep growing, and most importantly, keep dreaming big.
We'll catch you in the next one.